What's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video called The Link. And actually, this one is maybe too late because the link has been confirmed. Usually I do this before something comes out as of like it's a done deal. But this is apparently a done deal. I think going off what DiMarzio reported, and we need to go off what DiMarzio has reported. Again, keep in mind, it could still not happen. As long as it's not done, it's not done. But DiMarzio said it's done Thursday or Wednesday, but let's say Thursday, we will have his medicals with the club. We will pay 12 million euros in total, including bonuses. Could be 9 plus 3, could be 10 plus 2, who knows. But the price is 12 million, and the early news is that he's going to sign a 5-year deal, which is quite long. On top of that, what I can add to it, which has been coming out now in the late hours, is that Mana asked Giuntoli for approval. Not approval, but talked with Giuntoli over signing Weah. So you can maybe say it's the first Giuntoli signing, but that's something we will probably discuss on lives and daily news videos, whatever. Just looking again into who is Timothy Weah really quickly, because the coach's corner and more info on Timothy Weah will be coming from Julian, because well, that's his department on the channel. But let's get straight into it, as we always do. Who is Timothy Weah? First off, just to get it out of the way, I've not watched much of Timothy Weah. I've seen one Lille game, and I don't think even the full 90 minutes. I've seen him play in the World Cup, and I've probably seen him play seasons prior to this one, which I cannot recall with certainty. It's kind of vague. What I do know about Timothy Weah is what I've seen. And what I've seen, and actually I came on, it was during World Cup, and it was the first game of USA, I believe. And I came on and I told Julian, man, he looks electric, but there is no end product. Like, the moment he needs to make it happen, and it needs to actually happen, it needs to be clean, it needs to be decisive, he is anything but clean and decisive. That's his issue, because he was basically growing up, he was kind of an attacker. Like, that's what he is. He's not now, and you might say that's a worry, and I would agree. Like, you can develop in something you are not growing up, or growing up basically, or what you have played in the youth sectors. But man, going from an attacker to basically a right back or left back is not it's complete something else, and versatility. I think that's what you can call this Mercato so far. Castagna, him, it's versatility. They can play multiple positions. Can they play them well? Can Timothy play well in all positions he has played? Probably not. It gives me a bit, Bernardeschi flashbacks when everybody said, oh, but he can cover multiple positions. He couldn't. He played in multiple positions, but he wasn't good in any of those. So that doesn't mean you can play multiple positions. It means they will deploy you in multiple positions, but is that good? Who knows? Who knows? Really quickly, who is he? Again, 23, just 23, so relatively young. He played 29 games, and I will explain later on why only 29. And he had 2 assists, which is very, very poor. It's actually, let me get that out. It's actually very bad, but that will also be explained later on. But even in the positions he has played, he should be getting more than 2 assists. That's just my personal opinion. But again, the profile kind of suits what the club needs to be doing. Young, untapped potential. I'm saying untapped. He's 23. There should be potential out there, but I still believe it's kind of really untapped at this moment in time, because the early signs was he's going to have a great career, but he's not really having the career everybody thought he was going to have. So that's why I'm saying untapped potential. But again, he fits kind of the profile we're looking for, young and all those things, but quality wise, that's my issue. I just don't feel it at this moment in time. And Julian will break down the stats, and then you will get a grasp of why I'm not fully convinced on him. And again, stats are nice. They're a tool, so that's why I will give him a shot, a chance, because I need to see it with my own eyes. I can look at the stats and I'll be like, but maybe when I see him play, I'm like, okay, I can see what he brings to the table, but I can only judge that when I see him play. Actually, as of now, I've seen not enough to say he will not be a good signing. You know, from what I've seen, the only thing I picked out of it is that he is very uh, wasteful when he shouldn't be wasteful in certain areas, because he does everything well. He has good feet, in my opinion, and he's quick. But in the moment it needs to happen, it doesn't happen. That's my biggest issue with him, as far as I've seen at this moment in time. You know, let's cover his positions, because that's crazy. His main position should have been right winger, uh, but it hasn't been right wing, and you can see left and right back, and that's what happened. You know, he played as a right wing back, he played as a right back, he played as a left back, and he played one game or two games as a striker at Lille. But he covered multiple positions, especially on the right. But he also played left back, which is quite strange. Um, and that's why I'm saying, like, you can call this Mercato the Mercato of the versatility, because it feels like we're looking at those type of players. And he played, like, this is very interesting, because he covered three roles in one season. And I'm gonna say three different roles, because you can say left back, right back. It's kind of the same. It's not the same. It really isn't, especially going off the foot you are, and the way you set up as a team as well, and the way you link up with the players in front of you. Like, so it's different. And right wing back is also something different, because right wing back means you need to have two lungs, not two lungs. That's normal. You need to have multiple lungs, and with multiple lungs, I mean more than two, basically, to cover a right wing back position and be actually very good in that position. It's different to just be a right back, you know, depending on the formation you play, obviously. But he played multiple positions. He actually played 8 as a right back, 6 as a left back. He played 5 as a right winger, right wing back, and 1 as a center forward, and he got 2 assists out of it, which is not great. You know, in total, his career, it hasn't been great. You know, if you look at his output, it's terrible. Like, we need to be completely honest. Let's say he played 150. Let's say he played 150 games, professional games for club competition. He got 15 goals, maybe. Let's say 20 goals to be nice, and like 10 assists. That's not good. Like, that's actually very poor, and that is kind of a concern, if we are being completely honest, you know, and we need to be honest. But that's who he is, you know, covered multiple positions, and I think that's why we're also going for him. That's just my opinion, you know. Let's quickly move on to who he is, injury-wise. It starts off shocking. Like, he missed with a muscle injury, and I'm pretty sure that it's not correct, like, because he missed a third of a year with a muscle injury, and he missed 25 games. I don't know what it was, but it's probably not going to be a muscle injury. Other than that, fitness, hamstring, muscle, thigh, muscle, foot, so the usual stuff. But he missed quite a lot of games in his career already, you know, especially the last two. Muscle injuries, 7 games. That's tough. Like, a month and a half, basically. The foot injury, you never know what it is. You can, you know, have a little fraction in it. It can happen. But I don't say it's pretty clean, but I don't think it's worrying. I don't see, like, muscle injury, okay, every 2 years, but I don't see Chiellini muscle injuries like 3-4 times a season. So I think that should relatively be no real concern for us. Now, as I always do in this video, I pick out one stat, and I didn't know which stat I needed to pick out, because Julian is going over things, and I know which direction Julian is going with that video, and as I've always said, I don't want to end these type of videos on a negative, because if you look at the stats and you compare him with these type of players, Sandro, Parisi, Quadrado, Cambiaso, Cassagna, you will be very disappointed if you compare the stats, because some of the players you might hate and not rate, let's say not rate, they come out looking better than Timothy Weah. I've looked at shot creations, action per 90s, which he's pretty good at. Pretty good. Like he's better than your average player. Quadrado is extremely high, which kind of confused me when I was reading it. But that's okay. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it's 2 assists last season, and that's not fantastic. And overall in his career, 20 goals, 10 assists, in let's say 150 games. It's not great. Like it's not something that fills you with great optimism, and kind of going into the new season with the top process behind having a new right back that will have going forward a very very minimal impact. That's the issue, because I think the frustration with Colorado is, yes, he struggles to beat his man, and he does weird stuff. But at the end of the day, I think the end product wasn't good as well. And so far, if you look at the stats, and from what I've seen, end product is not what Timothy Weah is going to bring us going off his past. So I'm actually very curious and interesting to see how we will deploy him and how he will kind of develop or improve, perform, because the pressure is on, because we've seen Colorado play. Everybody wants an upgrade. Everybody wants to see something else. You probably get a sign from the fans. But at one point, we need the output, because we have been deprived of that for so long. And when I say so long, I'm going to say a good 2 seasons and a half. It feels longer. That rumbling will start very, very soon. It will. Like, it needs to happen relatively quickly. That you need to see, and you need to sit back and see that, okay, he is actually improving us. Like, he's proving me wrong or somebody else wrong. And he's actually contributing to winning, to having an impact, which was not happening with Quadrado. But that's only something we can see when he plays, especially for me personally, when I've seen so little of him, I cannot really make up a judgment. I'm not the biggest fan based on what I've seen, but it's a very small sample size, so I need to be honest in that. But let me know in the comments what you think about that signing. Again, Julian, coach is scoring, that will come out probably next week, the moment he signs. Like we always do, the day after it will drop, so stay tuned for that as well. But let me know in the comments really quickly what you think about that signing. 12 million, 5-year deal. It's basically happening. Thanks for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later today probably. Ciao.